Hey guys, it's Adrian BHA here bringing you a new video. So the great folks over at Geek Smart sent me over one of their 4-in-1 smart door locks to show you guys. All right, so when I say 4-in-1, it's actually pretty cool. So you can unlock it 4 different ways. You can unlock it with a keypad that's on the front of the door lock. You can unlock it with key, kind of manually, like you normally would a regular door lock. You can unlock it with an RFID card. It comes with a couple of them with the door lock itself, as well as you can unlock it remotely from your app on your phone. So it's pretty cool. So let's check it out. All right, so you may have already seen earlier that it was listed for about 129 bucks on the Geek Smart website. But if you go to their Amazon storefront, you can actually get it for 99 bucks. So that's a pretty sweet deal. Now, I will tell you, this is a Bluetooth door lock by default. So, of course, if you want to be able to access it remotely over Wi-Fi, you will need their Wi-Fi bridge. Now, the great thing about this thing is it actually runs with the TTLOCK software. So I've done some videos previously on some locks that utilize the TTLOCK app, and I already own one of those Wi-Fi bridges. So we're going to get this thing set up and show you how to do all that utilizing the TTLOCK Wi-Fi bridge. Here we go.
All right, so let's do a quick run through of everything we're going to cover in this video. For starters, we will unbox the device. Once we do that, then we'll do a walkthrough of getting the door lock installed. It shouldn't be too bad. Once we have it installed, it'll be time to get it added into the TTLOCK app on our phone. And after that, I'll go over the various config options in the app. Once we do that, we'll try to get it added into Home Assistant. And then lastly, I'll just kind of go over my final thoughts. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get this thing opened up. So you can see on the outside of the box, there's actually quite a bit of information detailed on the box itself. So it kind of gives you a rundown of what's all inside the box, and has some information about what all of the capabilities of the lock are. So that's pretty nice. So let's get this thing opened up here. First things first, you have the instructions that kind of show you how to get it installed and set up in the app. Then it also comes with a template. This is more for like new installs where maybe you don't have a deadbolt lock already on your door and you're going to have to actually cut the holes and everything for that. We won't need that since we're just replacing an existing lock. All right, so inside this little box here, we got all of the odds and ends that we need for installation. Looks like you got keys, you got the RFID cards that you can use. Looks like the deadbolt itself is in there, as well as mounting screws and stuff that you'll need to get everything installed. All right, so here is the front side of the lock. This has the keypad on it. And at the top there is where you would scan that RFID card. So if you wanted to use that to unlock the door. And if you slide the center cover over, you can see the keyhole for, where you're going to manually open the door with a key if you want. Let's see, there's a little mounting plate. And here is the back side of the lock, which will go on the inside of the door. And if you slide the cover off, you can see where the batteries go. It runs on 4 AA batteries. All right, well, that's pretty much it for everything that you get inside the box. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step, and we'll get this thing installed. Okay, for starters, this is the door lock that I'll be replacing. This is my front door here. So the first thing we need to do is to remove the existing deadbolt lock assembly, the whole thing. As you can see here, I've got it all removed. So now we are ready to basically start installing the new lock. So first things first, as you can see here, I've installed the new deadbolt. Once we do that, we will install the outside panel on the door. So as you can see, basically you're going to utilize that plate that we saw at the beginning of the video. We will run the screws through that plate and they will kind of screw into that outside panel. So now comes a tricky part. You can see this wire here, it's actually pretty short. And so this is how your front panel gets its power. And so it's not very long and it's really hard to get this thing plugged in. So it took me a little while to kind of work it out. But basically you're going to plug this in on the inside unit and then you can kind of screw this inside unit in. So as you can see, I've got it all connected here and I was able to mount the inside panel of the lock. Everything looks pretty good there. All right, so really the only thing left to do is to add in the 4 AA batteries. And then basically we're going to put on that battery cover. At this point, we are ready to move on to the next step and we will get this lock configured and added into the TTLOCK app. Okay, so here we are in the TTLOCK app, and basically we will hit the hamburger menu there on the side and choose Add Lock. And from there you can select the lock type, and all you need to do is basically activate the lock. So we will hit a button on the keypad, and this should put the lock in pairing mode. Once we do that, the app itself is going to start looking for nearby locks, and we should see this one come up. And there it is. Success. We should be able to change the name here, so I'm going to go ahead and just call it front door. The only thing that we really need to do here is just make sure it's added to the gateway. This gives us that remote capability that we have since this is technically only a Bluetooth lock. So I've got into the gateway here. I'm going to see what locks are connected to the gateway, and as you can see that this lock is already connected to the gateway, so I'm good to go. That's all I need. Basically, it shows all 3 of my locks in my house are currently connected to that gateway, so I'm good. So that's pretty much it for getting it added to the TTLOCK app. Let's move on to the next step, and we will take a look at the config. Okay, so inside the TTLOCK app, you have the ability to add passcodes here, RFID cards. All this can be done from the main lock screen. If we go into settings up in the top corner, we can click on basics, which will allow me to adjust the name. I just want it to match the same format as my other locks, so I'll add on the word lock to the end of the name here. You can see it provides all kinds of other basic information as well. Moving on, if we click on gateway, this shows you which gateway the lock is connected to. Under wireless keypad, we have the ability to connect a wireless keypad if we wanted to. Similar here for the door sensor as well. If we had a door sensor that was a part of the same ecosystem, we could add that here. If you want the ability to remote unlock, which requires the gateway, you can enable it here. As you can see, mine is already enabled. Now, auto lock. This will allow you to set the door to automatically lock after a period of time. It's a pretty nice feature, especially if you don't always remember to lock the door back. Under passage mode, this allows you to set a time period when the door will remain unlocked. This would work great for like businesses that would need to keep their doors unlocked during business hours. For lock sound, I like to have lock sounds enabled. I think it actually is by default, but it will like play a voice and announce when the door is locked and unlocked, so it's kind of nice. You do have the ability to turn that on and off if you want to. This feature allows you to use the privacy button on the lock if you want to. And then as for this one, you can actually repair the lock if you needed to. Basically, if you hold down the reset button, it basically wipes the lock and allows you to add it to a new account or re-add it to your existing account if you wanted to. And so if we disable that here, then of course, then that button does not work. You can set the door opening direction here in the app itself. Not sure why you need to do that. I don't have it set currently, and I'm going to leave it alone for now. Not really sure what the benefit of that is. Here under lock clock, you have the ability to calibrate the lock. So if you were having some issues with time or it wasn't showing the right time, then you obviously have the ability to calibrate that time here. Another cool feature is you can import your config from another lock if you wanted to. So this is great if you're replacing a lock with a newer one and you want to use that same config that you had on the existing lock. Or if you had multiple locks and you wanted them all to have the same config, you can actually do that here as well. Of course, we can update firmware. But other than that, that's what you get with the options within the TTLOCK app. Let's go ahead and move on to the last step, and we will kind of go over my final thoughts. At this point of the video, I would usually go over how to get this lock added into Home Assistant. But to me, currently, all of the TTLOCK options that are out there and are available just don't work all that well as far as options for integrating into Home Assistant. So I've kind of decided to leave it out of this video. I do hope in the future that they come up with a more solid solution for adding these types of locks into Home Assistant. Other than that, that was a pretty solid lock. And for the functionality, $100 on Amazon is a pretty sweet deal. It's definitely easy to set up and use. The TTLOCK app is a lot of functionality there. If you're looking for a smart lock, this is not a bad deal. On the installation side, my only pet peeve was that short power cable from the outside unit that plugs into the inside unit. It just made it very difficult to install. The entire installation process was pretty quick and painless other than that one little spot. You're definitely going to want to head over to their website and check it out for yourself. And I'll have the link in the description below. If this lock doesn't interest you, they have tons of other stuff out there that you will definitely find something that you like.
As always, I want to thank everybody for donating to my Buy Me a Coffee link. Every little bit helps. If you haven't had a chance, jump over to my spring merchandise page and check out all of the Burns home automation merchandise. And if you haven't had a chance, check out Smonet. I have a link to their website in the description below. If you head over there, they have all kinds of smart home products that you're definitely going to want to check out. And if you're interested in buying and selling stock or maybe cryptocurrency, check out Robinhood. I'll have the link in the description for that as well. And if you sign up with that link, you and I both will get a free share of stock. It's a win-win for both of us. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments below. As always, if there are any videos out there that you would like to see that I don't already have out there, let me know in the comments as well, and I'll see if I can't get something put together for you guys. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around.